What's going on, guys? Welcome back to The Real Talk. I have another review for you guys today, and that's for Christopher Nolan's next film, Dunkirk. Check it out.
I'm not going back. If we go there, we'll die. You're a weekend sailors, not the bloody Navy. You should be at home.
There's no hiding from this, son. We have a job to do.
Turn it around!
She'll fight on the beaches.
Alright, guys, so this movie stars Tom Hardy, Mark Rylance, Kenneth Branagh, and Cillian Murphy. And like I said, it is directed by none other than Christopher Nolan. And guys, for me, in my opinion, he has not missed yet. All his films have been great, if not, perfect. His last two films, though, I believe were Interstellar and The Dark Knight Rises. They were kind of mixed. Everybody was on the fence about both of them. A lot of people were positive with it. A lot of people were negative with them. I personally really like both films. I do realize they both have negatives, but with that being said, coming off this movie, I was checking social media and I was like, man, there's been a lot of talk about Dunkirk being, split down the middle again. And to be honest, I don't understand why, because I really like this movie. As always, I like to start off with the negatives of the film, but to be completely honest, I was coming home from the theater and I thought of one. But then I started to really think about it, and I'm like, you know what? I don't think I can call it a negative, because this movie was going for something. It was trying to give you an experience, and I think it achieved that. And for that, I cannot include that in my negative. But going to my positives, I will let you know what that was. All right, guys. So starting off with my positives, I have to praise Christopher Nolan for doing another magnificent job and directing another great film. Especially because this is a war movie. You have millions of extras, and I'm over exaggerating, but we're playing soldiers, and you have set pieces with ships and boats and stuff like that. And I don't think there's a lot of sets, but still there could be a lot of stuff in a war movie that can take you away from the narrative of the story, or from your original vision. And I feel like Christopher Nolan was able to bring us his vision and bring us that experience he wanted us to have. And I'm going to be talking about that a little bit later in my review. But let's get into the action. And right off the bat, guys, once this movie starts, I'm telling you, it does not stop. I know that's a term that people like to use in their reviews, but literally, once this movie starts, you follow this character and you're just beat for beat for beat, just trying to escape these gunfighters and stuff like that, trying not to get shot. And then from there you head to the beach, and then there's these bombings. And I don't want to get into spoilers, but man, there's just a lot of action. The whole movie was action, but not like those Transformers dumb action, stuff like that. It's just this, again, I'm gonna get to the experience a little bit later in the film, but it just brings you into Dunkirk and that whole story of what was going on. And it was just, you have airplane fights, you have shootouts, and you have bombings, and just a lot of great action, like I said. And I said it in the beginning, this movie starts and it does not stop. And going along with the action, the score to this movie, Hans Zimmer did another magnificent job. This is a very unique score and soundtrack to the movie. And it just fits so beautifully, and just the little sound effects that the score has, the little ticking of the watch. It makes you feel this sense of urgency, of this sense of okay, we gotta keep going. And man, it just builds up that suspense in those moments. And I'm glad that Hans Zimmer again was able to bring us that, and I have to praise him again for this beautiful score. I'm definitely gonna check it out. The next positive, guys, I'm going to be talking about is the acting. I feel like even though they didn't have a lot of character development in this movie, and that was sort of my negative, but again, I'm going to talk about that in the end of the positives. They didn't have a lot to deal with, but these actors still brought their A game, and they're very believable. And even Harry Styles, I believe, from One Direction, everybody was like, man, why is he cast in there? But he did a pretty good job. I don't know if he's done any acting before, any serious movies like this, but he did a good job overall. Tom Hardy, Mark Rylance was in this, Kenneth Branagh, and I think Cillian Murphy did a fantastic job as well. So the acting has to be one of the positives. And I gotta say, the cinematography for this movie was amazing. Once you have the ocean, and especially if it's a war film, you have a lot of opportunities to get great shots. And I thought this movie did a great job in that, and especially because I saw it in IMAX in 70 millimeter. It was so beautiful to watch. And just even the aerial fights, and even some scenes at the beach were just fantastically done. And I love that the visuals in this movie, you can tell that were all practical. Like when the bolts were there, I was gonna say something, but of course you're gonna have bolts sinking in this film. It's a war movie, so when there's bolts sinking and the airplanes when they go down and stuff like that, like man, everything's just so real, and I have to praise that. I love when movies do that. And so yeah, the cinematography was beautiful, the visuals were great. Alright guys, so like I was saying throughout the review, I was gonna talk about the experience and Christopher Nolan's vision. And this movie's been getting a lot of slack because it's not, it doesn't have a lot of character development. Like I said, for me that was going to be one of my negatives, because I love that, you know, like Saving Private Ryan, there's movies, war movies, and like Hacksaw Ridge more recently that are both. They give you an experience and give you character development and combine them into a great story and a great film. But I feel like Christopher Nolan was trying to give us this experience and immerse us into Dunkirk and like what the story was about, and introducing that to us and showing us that, especially watching it in IMAX 70mm with that great score and that big screen and all the visuals and the cinematography. I feel like overall I got that experience. You know, I felt like you were supposed to see the movie kind of through the eyes of the character that comes out in the beginning that's escaping that gunfire. I feel like you're meant to be him, you know, because he's just trying to survive throughout the whole movie. Like, he's just like dodging bullets and ducking and covering and stuff like that. And I feel like to us, we're supposed to be that character, and because we're seeing this the story unfold in the big screen and with the sound, so Christopher Nolan had that vision, and I feel like he accomplished it. And so if you have the opportunity to see this film in IMAX 70mm, if you can, please do yourself a huge favor and go not see this movie, but go experience it. Thinking about that, I'm kind of like sponsoring IMAX, like, hey, you know, IMAX. But I'm serious, guys. I'm all about movie experiences, so go check it out. I didn't mean to like kind of like, hey, you know, sponsored by IMAX. So, but yeah. Overall, guys, I love this movie. Like I was saying, it just gave me a great experience and a great time at the movies, and that's why I go to the movies. So, with all that being said, I have to give Dunkirk 8.5 out of 10. I don't want to sound like, hey, I'm promoting IMAX, but I highly recommend to go watch this in the IMAX theater. And if you can't, I still say, hey, go check this out. It's a Christopher Nolan movie. He hasn't disappointed yet, so yeah. But if you have seen the film, let me know your thoughts on the movie in the comment section down below. You guys can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at The Real Talk, talk with 2 Ks. And as always, guys, I'll see you at the movies. Later.
Where's the bloody Air Force?